Up. We're good. All right. All right, everybody. Good morning or good afternoon. It's 12 o'clock now. Okay, so I said I would hop on a Zoom call with you guys today to go over a really fun topic. Coach Alex did this topic a couple of weeks ago. I think it was like a month ago, where he talked about eating for results, and he gave you kind of the ins and outs of how to eat and why you should. I'm going to give you more about eating for results based on your lifestyle. So it's going to be more about meal timing, why you want to eat certain meals at different times of the day, and what you should be eating in those meals. Okay, so let's go right into it. I'm going to screen share my presentation for you guys. That's not it. All right. Okay, so eating for results, timing your meals based on your lifestyle. All right, so let's start at breakfast. Okay, we're just gonna knock it out from beginning to end of your day. All right, so starting at breakfast, if you work out in the morning, all right, so I'm talking to the morning crew here, the 5:30 or 5:20 crew, the 6:10, all of the people that train early mornings. Okay, don't come into your session on an empty stomach. All right, there's a thing in fitness called fasted cardio, where you do cardio while not eating anything before then. Sure, it's not a big deal to do, but the type of training that we do majority of the time is not cardio. It's resistance training. And when you do resistance training, you're utilizing glucose, as in your blood sugar. So if you come into your session and your blood sugar is low, you're going to have to work twice as hard as versus someone that ate in the morning to receive the same amount of results. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, eat something in the morning, raise your blood sugar. I gave you some examples here of what to eat. You don't have to eat a meal. I don't expect you to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to get a full-blown meal in. But if you're training early morning and you're kind of crunched for time, fruit, that's a great option. One of my favorite options is a protein shake. Protein shakes were actually originally invented to be used as pre-workout, because they're going to help you sustain the breakdown of your muscles during that workout. So it's a cool idea to have that before you hit the gym. Plus, all these ideas are really light on the stomach, so you're not going to feel super heavy or nauseous or anything like that. But you come into a session with us and you don't eat, you could feel nauseous or dizzy or lightheaded. Things like that can happen. Now, when it comes to after your session, when you finish your session, that's when we need to introduce more calories. We got to eat a bigger meal. So I wrote down here 30 plus grams of protein. I didn't give examples of protein because we know what protein is. I'm talking about animal proteins. I'm talking about eggs. I'm talking about protein powder, whatever it is you really feel like. But the idea is you need to get above 30 grams to start your day, like easily. It should be above that, especially since you have like challengers right now. You have protein goals, and every goal I set for the challenge is way above 100 grams. So starting your day with a good chunk of protein is always going to be super beneficial, especially right after your workout. Then you want to add some carbs in, because you've been utilizing glucose. You're burning through your blood sugar. You don't want to just stay in a low blood sugar state now that you've been utilizing all that blood sugar. You got to replenish some of it. So some examples: oatmeal, toast, potatoes, they're all great. Now, fats, the yolk of the egg, that's a great source of fat. A lot of people don't realize this, but the yolk is omega-3s. They're omega-3 fatty acids. So it's the good type of fat to get in. I know a lot of people are very worried about the cholesterol, but you shouldn't be worried about the egg. The egg is not the thing that's going to be affecting the cholesterol negatively. It's usually other things, like the things you cook it in, like the vegetable oil and stuff like that. Avocado, that's another great choice. Even cheese. Cheese is not a bad choice at all. Okay, now, if you go to work first thing in the morning, if you go to work first thing in the morning and you have a sit-down job, you have a desk job, maybe you're a truck driver, you drive a lot, there's not a lot of movement to start your day. It's more important for that type of scenario to intake more protein and fats. protein, and I'm talking about if you're an animal eater, get some meat in, get some eggs in, because protein is really satiating, as in your body's going to feel satisfied for a long period of time. Because I know so many people, they say, oh yeah, I had breakfast and then I got to work and then I was starving immediately. And I always ask, well, what did you have for breakfast? Well, I had a bowl of oatmeal. Carbs stimulate your appetite. So when you don't have an appetite and you're trying to increase your calories, you eat more carbs. But when you are working a long period of time without the ability to eat your next meal, you want to satiate your body. You want to satisfy that appetite. And doing so is by eating a lot more protein to start your day. And then fats. You want to add fats with it because fats are going to help. Fats are for your hormones. That's why you don't need a lot of fats in a day, but they're super important to your day. It's going to improve cognition and just help with your mental clarity. Okay. So an easy example breakfast is eggs, whole eggs, maybe add some egg whites for more protein, and then some turkey bacon. That's a real simple breakfast. I think most people are okay with eating stuff like that for breakfast. All right, so that was breakfast for working out and for going straight to work. Now let's go into lunch. All right, so lunch, the rule of protein is pretty much going to stay the same for every meal of the day. 30 plus grams of protein. As in, if you have a goal of 150, 160 grams of protein, and you're only eating 3 times a day, it's got to be above 30 grams of protein, okay? Now, you want to make sure you're getting in some fibrous carbohydrates. The fibrous carbs are not the starches. We're talking about the carrots, the broccoli, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, zucchini, even fruit, because fruit is a fibrous type of carb. And then you want to add in some of your veggies. I don't consider the two the same because fibrous carbs are actually not in the classification of vegetables. They're actually in the classification of non-sweet fruit. So I just call them fibrous carbs. And your veggies are everything else. It's all your leafy greens, all the dark greens. You got your lettuce, your kale, arugula, collard greens, anything like that is you need quite a few portions on a daily basis. So if you have a physical job, so your job, it's really demanding, you're on your feet a lot, maybe it's construction, whatever it is that you're burning a lot of calories in your day, you need to have all of that I just listed, but you should also add in some type of starch because it's a lot more, it's going to help with your energy and it's more of an energy source for you for that physical type of labor. So your rice, potatoes, all kinds of potatoes, you got bread's okay. Bread is totally okay. Okay, the fun topic, the dinner topic. I put little Bill Nye up there in the corner. Science rules, because I'm going to be talking about some sciencey stuff in this slide. It's going to get a little bit more in depth now that we're at dinner. I'm going to be breaking things down a little bit more. The last few slides aren't so difficult to break down. It's a very easy concept to understand. But when it comes to dinner, most people are very lacking in the type of nutrients they need to help them with recovery, help them sleep better. So I have a few ideas for you. Okay. So again, your protein, 30 plus grams. I mean, if you have a protein goal, stick to your protein goal, but every meal you have should be satiating. And that's going to happen from getting in a good chunk of protein. Then we got our starchy carbohydrates, like we talked about in the last slide. Yes, you're going to have a starchy carb for dinner. No, you should not have dinner right before bed. You should give yourself an hour and a half, 2 hours for digestive purposes, but you should be having a starch, especially if you train in the evening, which I'll get to in a second. And veggies, again, all the leafy types of greens, your lettuce, kale, spinach, all those things, okay? So if you work out in the evening, working out is the equivalent of drinking a cup of coffee. It might not seem like it, but yeah, it is. Because when you work out, your body is utilizing one side of its nervous system. And that part of the nervous system is your sympathetic nervous system. And that has to do with your fight or flight response. And to help with the fight or flight response, you're going to start producing more adrenaline. You're going to start producing more cortisol. And adrenaline is for your fight or flight. Cortisol is your energy hormone. And your energy hormone peaks the moment you wake up and light hits your face. That is the peak of your cortisol. So I don't think you want to really peak your cortisol at nights when it's getting closer to bedtime, right? So keep it in mind when you work out, it's like drinking a cup of coffee. So it's going to increase alertness, more cortisol, adrenaline's going to be released. So you eat a starchy carb. Eating a starchy carb is going to aid you in better sleep. And I'll explain how. Okay, this is when it gets a little sciencey. I'm not going to break down all of it, but I'll give you the bare essentials of what you need. So when you eat starches, what it does is it's going to raise your blood sugar. And when you raise your blood sugar, that's going to trigger the release of insulin. So when your insulin goes up, it's going to help you send more amino acids to various parts of your body where it needs to go, right? If you work out, a lot of it's going to go into the muscles, into the cells, right? And there's certain types of amino acids like L-tryptophan, and I'm sure you've heard that before. I know people say like, oh, you eat turkey and there's a lot of tryptophan in it. That's the one I'm going to be talking about, okay? And this is how it helps you. So when you raise your insulin, it's going to enhance the absorption of amino acids like L-tryptophan. Now, when tryptophan is more abundant in your blood and it's going to be sent to your muscles, it's also going to be able to break the blood-brain barrier, not break, but enter through the blood-brain barrier so that you get more amino acids to the brain. Now, when tryptophan hits the brain, it's going to inadvertently turn into serotonin. It's going to help you with your serotonin production. Now, when you produce serotonin, that has to do with mood regulation. It's a relaxing, calming type of hormone or a neurotransmitter, right? Now, when you start producing more serotonin, that is going to trigger the response because now you are in a more relaxed state. Your mood has changed. You have this more calming effect. It's going to allow your body to ease into producing, especially from this gland right here, your pineal gland. It's going to start producing more melatonin. Melatonin, our sleepy time hormone, the opposite of cortisol, right? And you do all of this by eating starches for your dinner. You know, we've been told our whole lives, like, you got to start, I don't remember how it goes. It's like you got to eat like a royalty in the morning and then eat like a peasant at night or something like that. Trying to say like you got to start your day with a big meal and it's got to be carb heavy, right? Like anybody remembers going to school and you had pancakes for breakfast with some toast and some eggs. And then you get to school and you got to take a test or you got to do something, but you could barely keep your eyes open, right? Why not use that response at night to help you sleep better? Because at the end of the day, if you're eating the right amount of calories, it doesn't matter when you eat them, because if your goal is to lose weight and you're eating so that to allow you to lose weight, it doesn't matter when you eat them, you will lose the weight. This, what I'm talking about, is to help you improve recovery. It's going to help you with mood regulation. It's going to help you with the energy dip in your day. So it doesn't always feel like you need more caffeine or anything like that. Okay, so remember, food is on a spectrum. There is no such thing as good food. There's no such thing as bad food. Okay, it's a spectrum from a green side to a red side. On the green side, you have all your whole foods. Everybody knows what whole foods are, right? Everything, your vegetables, your meats, everything that doesn't have tons of ingredients in it. And that's the other side. The red side is the ultra processed food side. So if you think of it on a spectrum, it's not about you got to cut out this. You can't eat the bad foods anymore, only the good foods, because you start doing that, you're probably going to build up resentment towards food. And you know how that goes. You start building up resentment towards food, and then it's sooner or later, you're just going to binge that food that you've been denying your body of. So ultra processed foods, less often, whole foods, more often. But don't avoid foods that you like, that what you would consider are bad, right? There's no bad foods. You just got to learn how to add them into a healthy lifestyle so that you always feel like you're getting what you want, plus you're getting what you need. Okay. That's a really important one. It took me so long to learn that, but once I did, and I was able to eat the hot Cheetos without feeling like I'm destroying my diet, it made all the difference when it came to my results. Okay, so again, what it comes down to at the end of the day is if you want to lose weight, it will always be the quantity of your calories, not the quality. You can have the most amazing quality calories ever, but if you're eating more calories than you burn, you're not going to lose weight. It could be all whole foods. It could be all broccoli, chicken breast, avocado, but you're eating more calories than you burn, you're not going to lose weight. And that's what like really trips people up. They're like, I eat so good. I've been eating healthy and I'm still not losing weight. That's because you're not paying attention to the amount of food that you're eating by the end of the day. Now, I'm not saying quality isn't important. Quality is super important, but the quality of your calories is more for health reasons. It's going to determine how good you feel as you lose weight. So I'm not saying go eat the junky food all the time because you can lose weight. I'm saying don't get caught up on the quality over the quantity if your goal is weight loss or weight gain or whatever the case may be. Eat as good quality food as often as you can, but don't deny your body the things that it likes that are going to help you maintain a good, healthy habits towards your food. Listen to your body. Your body sends you so many signals. We call it biofeedback. It sends you so many signals, positive and negative, based on your food. And if you listen to them, they tell you, I probably shouldn't be eating this so often. I should probably be eating this more often. But if you never pay attention to them, that's when you're going to have a lot more trouble. So let's talk about some negative body signals from your diet and some positive body signals from your diet. Oh, man. Okay. So there's a lot of signals that your body sends to you, and it's all about mindfulness. So the more you pay attention to what you eat and how it makes you feel, how your energy feels, how your body feels, the more you're going to get a better understanding of what types of foods you need to gravitate towards more often and, cut back on other foods, right? So let's start with the negative ones. There's a lot more, but this is actually just a short list of things. So negative body signals from what you would consider a bad diet, right? Too many ultra processed foods, bloating, brain fog, as in you're not going to be able to think so clearly, allergies, mood swings, diarrhea, acne, strong craving. That's a big one because so many of these ultra processed foods, they're made for you to binge. They're chemically made so that you will binge. Like if you had a bag of Doritos, it's so easy to just crush the whole bag because they are designed that way. And in all the ultra processed ingredients that they put in there, they actually override some of the hormones that make you feel satisfied, make you feel full. So you're able to just crush the whole thing at once. Heartburn, man, that was a big one for me. Like growing up, I grew up in I'm Hispanic. I grew up in a very Hispanic household, and my dad did most of the cooking. And it was always just Mexican food, very spicy stuff, a lot of Mexican food. Let's just say that. And I always thought, like, for a long period of my life, I always thought heartburn was normal, and it would just that's what happens after you eat, and it would just like that's how my body is. I just get heartburn after I eat. And it wasn't until I started studying nutrition and becoming more efficient in cooking and things like that, it's like, no, heartburn is happening because I'm eating a lot of foods that are affecting me. Oh man, that was such a huge wake-up call for me. Another one, easy bruising. Easy bruising. Anemia is one thing that a lot of people have. And that's a condition, but there are definitely ways to help aid the condition. Like people that are anemic, it would benefit you to eat some more red meats because red meats have iron, red meats have magnesium, creatine, B vitamins. But a lot of people are deterred from red meat because they've heard somewhere in their life that it's not healthy or it's not good for you or this or that, right? I'm not saying go eat asada every day, but get a nice lean steak and that's going to make all the difference for you. My dog is crying. Lightheadedness, right? Lightheadedness, oh, that's a big one. I'm sure everybody has felt that before. Energy crashes, right? You have a small meal, you go to McDonald's and you get their breakfast and it's super dense with calories. And you have energy for a little bit because calories are energy. And then your energy just plummets like before even 12 o'clock. And you're so dead and you need more caffeine to keep you going. That's because your food is dense with calories, but it's not dense with nutrients. Anxiety. Anxiety is a huge one. Fitness helps, but so does food. The two things that are underrated, and we were talking about this the other day in our Coffee with the Coaches, two of the things that are really underrated when it comes to depression, anxiety, things like that, medication is food and exercise. Those are two of the best types of medications to aid your body in issues like that, among other things. Strong body odor, that's one too. Strong body odor. Your dry, brittle hair, I think, people take supplements for that, but if you start eating more foods that are going to aid that, it helps. It makes a big difference. Halitosis, the bad breath, that also can come from a not so great diet, a poor diet. Difficulty losing weight, building muscle, recovering from workouts. Again, when it goes back to how I was saying that some foods, they override your signals to feel full. So if they're always overriding your signals to feel full and you eat, and you keep consuming, you're going to eventually go over the amount of calories that you need. You're probably not going to get enough protein as you need by the end of the day. So it's going to make it hard to lose weight. It's going to make it hard to recover from your workouts, to build muscle. So that's a lot of the negative aspects of it. So let's talk about when we start changing up our habits, changing up our habits around food and our diet, the positive body signals from diet. So some great positive signals that you can pay attention to when you start eating more whole foods. You get more lean meats, more vegetables, more fruits, more water, more foods that contain water, like, leafy greens. Calm and even consistent energy. Calm, even consistent energy. That's a huge one. Moderately elevated mood. If you've ever done a type of diet where you go 7 days straight without eating ultra processed foods and you're only eating meats, veggies, and fruits, you're going to notice the difference. Do 7 days. It makes all the difference if you can go straight 7 days. I'm not talking Monday through Friday and then Saturday, Sunday kind of leeway with anything else. No, do 7 days straight and you're going to notice why it's important to stick to nutrient dense whole foods majority of the time. Sound, restful sleep. I talked about that in the past slides. Regular, okay, this is a funny one, but this is very true. Regular, fully formed, easy to pass bowel movements. I've talked about this with my other gym before. You should never have issues with bowel movements. It should always be the same consistency and it should be easy to pass. So if that's not the case, there's something going on with nutrition, first of all. Could be other things, but definitely nutrition is the first thing that you should look towards. Clear, supple skin. Bright eyes, right? You don't got the dark, sunken in eyes. You have more color to them. Strong, healthy, and shiny hair, the opposite of having that dry, brittle hair. Strong, fast-growing nails, right? We could take supplements all day, but one of the best supplements is whole foods. Tolerance to temperature contrast, as in you don't get cold easily, you don't get hot easily, you can adapt to the temperatures that you're in a lot easier, because if you're not, there's some type of irregulation with your body temperature, and that's usually a case for food, among other things, but food is a big one. Faster recovery. Oh, that's a given. Workout resilience. Resilience as in it goes in the word itself. So you're going to feel the difference in your workouts. You're going to feel stronger in your movements. It's going to be easier for you to adapt to your actual workouts. Stress resilience. If you work out and you eat well, you're adapting, your mind is adapting, your body is adapting. You become more resilient to all types of stress across the board. A strong immune system. There are so many people I know that have a very poor diet and they are sick all the time. I get sick, everybody gets sick, but people that are in fitness, people that exercise, people that focus on eating more whole foods more often, getting enough rest, they don't get as sick as often as the regular person that's more along the lines of eating fast food all the time with a lot of alcohol and not a great diet, not drinking enough water. They're usually the ones that get sick a lot easier because their immune system is weakened. Healthy and fulfilling libido. That's what it is. Sharp mind, as in, like I said in the first slide about fats, you're going to have a sharper mind. You're going to feel more focused when you do the task at hand. And I wrote strong immune system in there twice. So these are a lot of the negative and the positive body signals from your body. There's a lot more, but the most important part when it comes down to it is you got to pay attention. Pay attention and be mindful. Self-awareness, mindfulness, that is the most important part when it comes to changing your habits around food. Again, don't ever feel like you can't eat that one piece of food that you want to eat. You should be able to, if you're building good, healthy lifestyle habits, because this is for life. This is not just for a challenge. This is not just for a month. This is for your life moving forward. You got to be able to mix in the foods you like so that you don't, we're all kids at heart, right? We're all kids at heart and we're rebels by nature. You tell a kid, don't do that. The first thing they're going to want to do is go do that thing you told them not to do. So if you tell yourself, I'm not going to eat the cookies for this long, or I'm going to cut out carbs, it's only a matter of time now until you're not going to want to take it anymore. And you're going to go back full force. Whether you want to admit it or not, that is the truth of the matter, because we're all human and we all conduct ourselves the same way as human beings. So that's all my slides for you guys. That's pretty much everything. I didn't want to hold you up, for long. I just wanted to give you some fun information that's going to help kind of open your eyes to certain ways that you could be eating, that you should be eating, and maybe some ideas of when you should be eating those meals, when and how. So I know we got a few people in here. Did you guys have any questions on anything?
Yeah, I wanted to bring up again one question that we talked about yesterday in the coffee with the coaches. What about someone, this all sounds great on paper, but they still have a sugar addiction to deal with?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we did talk about that. So for those of you that didn't get to hear the talk the other day, I'll bring up what I said again. I have two strategies towards that, and they're very fun strategies because I myself was one of those types of people that I always felt like I needed something sweet, especially after a meal or just at the end of my day. I always wanted something sweet, right? So in nature, all sugar is surrounded with fiber. So when you deny your body the fiber and you introduce the sugar, it's really easy to eat a lot of that sugar because it's not filling, right? And you're just gonna override your taste buds. And sugar is so strong that your taste buds can't even fathom how good it is. It's actually way sweeter than your taste buds can handle. That's why you want to eat a lot of it. So if you always keep in the back of your head that sugar is always surrounded with fiber, introduce fiber before the sugar. So the two options that I always lean towards when I want something sweet is fruit. Fruit is a great one because fruit already is surrounded with fiber. But if that's not your cup of tea for the day and you really don't feel like having that piece of fruit and you want something sweet, like, oh, there's pastries or there's this or that. Remember we talked about fibrous carbs, all the different types of what we would call vegetables, the fibrous vegetables, your carrots, your broccoli, Brussels sprouts, asparagus, all those types of carbs. If you eat those before a serving of your sugar of whatever kind it is, you're gonna end up eating less of it because fiber is very filling and you're gonna feel more satisfied and you won't feel like you're binging any type of sugar. So those are my two tips when it comes to sweetness. Anything else? That was a fun one we talked about.
That was a great one. I think that's everything. That was a really good one. Just wanted to make sure we included that one.
Absolutely. Well, all right, guys. We're going to be posting this up in the Facebook group for you guys if you want to go over it again, or for everybody that didn't log on is going to watch on the Facebook group. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is a lot of fun, and we're going to do a lot more of these for you. We're planning out more, and we're just going to kind of, you know, it'll be me, it'll be Heather, it'll be Alex, Jose, and we're just going to mix it up like that as we go. So a lot more fun topics. But if you have a topic that's really like burning questions in your head that you want to know about, drop us a message and then we will totally make some content for you.